I took him to see Reds. He was amazed that Hollywood would even make such a movie because he was so used to being ignored by the media. He said, who knew they would make such a movie? So he liked it. But we ended up getting thrown out because he kept commenting loudly because he was deaf. And so he had no idea of, at that time he was deaf. He had no idea of the of how his voice boomed in the theater, and he was sitting up front, and he was growling, and he really got totally pissed off at Henry Miller. He didn't like Henry Miller, who was a great writer, of course we know, but he says, what did he know? He was a bohemian in Paris. He knew nothing of these matters, and then there was some woman who was some kind of Marxist, and he despised her. He knew who she was. And the only one of the whole bunch that he kind of liked was Roger Baldwin of the American Civil Liberties Union. So he kept commenting on all the characters, and then the actor who plays Bill Haywood comes in, and he didn't look anything like Bill Haywood. That put him off. He said, why did they pick a guy who looked a little bit like Bill Haywood? And then the guy wore an eye patch, and he said, Bill Haywood didn't have an eye patch. He had one eye, and what you saw is what you got, They were tough wobblies, what I mean? He wore one, so he didn't like that, but he liked, and then what happened is that they threw us out because he kept making so much noise. And we got out of the parking lot, and people started spitting at us, because we fucked up the movie for them, And I say in the book that he could have walked off the screen, been one of the characters. If you follow me, he could have been one of the characters in the movie, but the people there had nothing to do with it. So it was a very funny incident. Now we're driving away, and I'm trying to get some common ground with him. So I said, "How did you like the guy who plays Eugene O'Neill, who was a big character in the movie, if you know?" And it was Jack Nicholson. And he says, "No good, too gloomy." So I says, well, O'Neill was a gloomy guy, all right? Look at all of his plays. He says, yeah, but he wasn't gloomy that way. He was a good guy to have a drink with. And he knew him, So I said, if you knew Eugene O'Neill, why didn't you tell me? He says, why should I tell you? This is my father. He says, what difference does it make if I knew Eugene O'Neill? And he meant that, it didn't matter to him. So I know him, so what? He had no sense of continuity in the history, I knew Eugene O'Neill, so the hell with it, That was the way he was, I was mentioning about Dorothy Day, who was going to be a priest, and the Pope mentioned her and was addressed to Congress or something. What a wonderful... And my father knew her way back, before she was Catholic. And he said, the best Dorothy was the old Dorothy, before she became Catholic. He said, I knew her when she was a footloose bohemian girl. That's the way he talked, So, you'd have liked him. You really would have liked him, you guys. You really would have.